The Minister of Women, Youth and Persons with Disability, that's Sindisiwe Chikunga, has kicked off the 2025 Women's Month with a women's trade dialogue under the theme Building Resilient Economies for All. The focus, we're told, is on helping women in informal sectors and boosting access to funding and trade opportunities. Watching the story is SABC News reporter Katlego Legodi, who joins us now live from the Sandton Convention Centre where this event is being held. And it's timely, Katlego, given, of course, the back and forth, shall we say, about these tariffs from the US, not only on South Africa, but several other countries around the world.
Most definitely. A very good morning to Ayanda and to our viewers at home. This particular event here coming through, you're right, at a pivotal time as we see various of the sectors, various of the countries take stock of women inclusion and really just being resilient around ensuring that women are not left behind where some of these issues are concerned. Here you find us just talking about trade and inclusion in line with the theme here in terms of building resilient economies that will not leave anyone behind, including women. So we see Minister Sindisiwe Chikunga officially kicking off the event here, officially kicking off also the Women's Month activities in line with how then we're going to see various of these activities streamlined by government, but also her making that clarion call to all of those that are here to ensure that they are really emphatic in not leaving women behind. All issues being discussed here, being centered also around issues of gender-based violence, but also where we find ourselves now. You know that the country has moved the tide a bit as well. We see Mandisa Maya being the first women Chief Justice. So we see various of those issues coming under the spotlight here, Ayanda, as they reflect, but also in line with ensuring that women are not left behind where trade conversations are concerned. I'm going to bring her into the conversation with us here this morning. Minister Sindisiwe Chikunga, you've just come off the podium and there was a resounding round of applause, really in line with the promises that lie ahead in protecting women, but also emphasizing the inclusion of women in the economies. Welcome to the SABC. Let's just get a sense of how we are looking at marking this Women's Month and these activities, but also let's talk about the trade issues and where women find themselves today.
Thank you very much for having us. Indeed, today marks the beginning of an important month, which is Women's Month. And we are here, as you have said, with the theme of this month being building resilient economies for all. And they all includes women. And we are actually focusing on building the resilient economies because we cannot speak about resilient economies when women are not able to access funding, for instance, when women are not able to access market, for instance, when women face a number of barriers, even as they start their small businesses. And we are happy that we are starting this with women who are entrepreneurs, who are in business already from all walks of life, from the most rural part of South Africa, from the farm part of South Africa, farm areas part of South Africa, from the semi-urban and urban areas, being here, bringing their produce and their staff to say this is what we are doing. But of course, these are the challenges that we have. Just communicating and interacting with them. Somebody was actually saying, I have got these products, but when I want to sell them, they want to buy them at a very low price, and therefore I'm selling them myself. And it is important that the funders and the buyers and the investors must actually hear that from these women. But of course, that we must buy. What is actually humbling me is to see the number of women that are making it in the business area with all the difficulties that are there, but they have actually tried. But we're also saying to them, we're bringing you here so that you can also network, you can take numbers so that you can share information, because somebody has been through the barrier that you are experiencing today, and somebody can actually guide you on how to go forward. And that is why we are here. But of course, to mark as I've said, and to launch officially the Women's Month, it was very pleasing for one and humbling for one to say, we therefore are here to declare the 2025 Women's Month already launched. We are going to go to Limpopo, Zanini, or Stadium, where the President is going to address the nation on women issues. And our take is that will be the State of the Women's Address by the President. So we speak of SONA. This time around we want to speak of SOA by the President, which is the State of the Women Address by the President, so that South Africa should know as to what women are going through. But we are very happy that there is some progress that we are making. In our speech, we actually covered what has happened since August last year up until today, including the signing into law, the Public Procurement Act, which was signed into law by the President, the signing into law of the National Council on Gender-Based Violence and Femicide, which was signed by the President, the appointment of the IMC on gender-based violence and femicide, and quite a number of others that we refer to. But of course, the fact that when we visit provinces, we now not say, bring women who are empowered. We say, bring women that you empowered between August last year and August this year, so that it's not the repeat of what we saw the previous year, and they are able to do that. What also I'm happy about now is to actually see many departments beginning to find it compulsory that in anything that they report about, it includes women, it includes persons with disabilities, it includes youth. And what we are now doing is to say we can't just be excited by seeing the name. We want to say the impact. The departments, whether public or private as well, they must actually say, with this which we say we have done, this has been the impact, and we want to see that impact. So we are very happy to be here. We are very happy to have so many women being here who are entrepreneurs, who actually have been able to go through and be able to pass through the many difficulties that are there when you start a business. And thank you very much for that.
Yeah, and Minister, this particular women find themselves at the crossroads right now, looking at the fact that the tariffs have kicked in. How do you imagine a future, or reimagine a future whereby they are not affected by such? Let's talk about where they find themselves today, and the fact that the United States of America has implemented these tariffs. How are they going to affect women? What are they saying to you in terms of seeking somewhat of protection?
In fact, we do believe that they will impact on women very much. And that is why we are interacting with the Department of Trade and Industry on how best can we actually protect women from that impact, particularly the small and medium enterprises that are there, that will always include women, so that we have a way of cushioning them from the impact of these tariffs by US, but also to look for other markets. In my speech, I actually spoke about the population that we have in the continent here, which we believe it's that one area that we have not looked into to say how best do we sell our products. If you look at, for instance, our neighbor Zimbabwe, somebody will tell you that the red maize meal in Zimbabwe, or yellow maize meal in Zimbabwe, they use it very much. And actually, in actual fact, if you sell it to South Africa, they will buy it at something like 3,000 rand per bag. But if you sell the same bag in Zimbabwe, it's not anything less than 7,000 rand. And I think, therefore, it's important that we begin to look for other markets for women, so that we cushion them from the impact of the tariffs from US. But of course, as the President says, and everybody is saying, we are engaging US, because I think it is important that we continue to engage US on the impact these tariffs are going to cause, not only to countries that are targeted, but even to US itself. It may not be today, but we believe that tomorrow it might have negative impact on US, because what it actually says that everybody must look for other market. US too does require market. So yes, indeed, we believe that we do have to cushion our women, so that even if there is impact, but it's not as hard as it can be.
Minister Chikunga, thank you very much for joining us on the SABC. The Minister of Women, Persons with Disabilities as well, Youth and Persons with Disabilities, giving us a sense of how they're going to be marking Women's Month. But there are concerns, Ayanda, even from women here, about some of the impacts, the shocks that would come globally from where we find ourselves as we see the 1st of August playing itself out US tariffs. Ayanda?
All right, Katlego Legodi, thanks very much indeed for that. So much to take in from those sentiments. Katlego, live to us there from Sandton.